Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Toasted Synapse from tsgaming.net and welcome to the weekly gaming news video. Today's subjects that we are going to talk about are Saints Row 4 cleared for Australian release, the 2 DLCs for BioShock Infinite, Wargaming buys Total Annihilation and Master of Orion, Meridian New World, the RTS created by one man, Otherlands Kickstarter successful. If you are not brushing up on your gaming news recently, I'm just going to mention that a while back Saints Row 4 had some troubles getting cleared by the Australian Classification Board. These are the guys that see if a game is quote-unquote harmful for the public and rate it accordingly. After what seems months of debating over this game that features a fictional universe in which you have supernatural powers at your disposal in order to fight aliens that are invading Earth, they have come to a conclusion. They will allow Saints Row 4 and classify it MA15+ if some of the foul content that may influence real people to do horrible stuff gets removed. A single optional side mission has been removed in order to comply with Australia's classification guidelines. The mission contained the use of a substance volition referred to as alien narcotics, which improved certain superpowers temporarily within the game. This is because the guidelines clearly stated that drug usage should not be encouraged and it should not be displayed as having positive outcomes or rewards. Indeed, this game is so realistic that it's definitely going to make me go into outer space and buy some alien narcotics to shoot them up my sleeve. What? Well, the publisher Deep Silver commented that, and I quote, "This mission has been widely reported on and contains the use of alien narcotics to obtain certain superpowers. It consisted of about 20 minutes of gameplay. So there wasn't any problem with the fact that you can murder innocent civilians in mass whenever you wish. The drugs were the problem. Right, the fictional drugs, not the fictional violence. Okay. Right, anyway, I'll just mention that the anal probe used in Saints Row was intersecting with some of Australia's guidelines when it came to sexual assault, but they just removed it from the initial release and it will be featured in a future DLC. This is another thing that doesn't make sense. So it's not okay to be in the release, but it's okay if you have it in a DLC. It's less sexual assault-ish then. Oh my. You know my thoughts on this, guys. Games make people violent, games make people want to do drugs. No actual evidence of this was offered, but hey, people think it. And that's the problem. 10 years ago it was rock music that was the spawn of Satan. Let's just hope that the medium will evolve and there will be no need for disgrace in the future. The first DLC for BioShock Infinite has been released and the second one will follow shortly. Clash in the Clouds is an arena mode DLC in which players can complete challenges by killing enemies under certain conditions, and they use the cash they win to unlock bonuses like audio files or concept art. This is, however, not the most exciting DLC, as it focuses more on the combat, a trait not so strong in BioShock. The second DLC will be aimed directly at BioShock's core, and that is the story. Burial at Sea will take place in the city of Rapture, seen in the BioShock Infinite playthrough when Elizabeth opens a portal. The town will be in its prime glory. Ken Levine said that the DLC will be, and I quote, "a little more narrative oriented, obviously, a love letter to the fans." Indeed. In the first part, players control Booker, in the second, they will be in Elizabeth's shoes instead, and he said that the gameplay is quite different as her. She's not the tank that Booker is, and you'll see how the story comes together. Haha. The second DLC's release date has not yet been announced, but it's certainly something that the fans of BioShock's story, including myself, will be eagerly awaiting. It may even connect the story of Rapture to Columbia, and I'm not giving any spoilers here, don't worry. I'm definitely excited for Burial at Sea. As for Clash in the Clouds, I guess it's a nice piece of cheap DLC that people can play around with until the second one comes out. Wargaming, the developer behind World of Tanks, buys the Total Annihilation and Master of Orion franchises from Atari. Victor Kisley, the president of Wargaming, said that they will be planning to make big AAA massive titles with all of Wargaming's power behind them. And he added that Total Annihilation and Master of Orion are strategy game classics. Although it's too soon to disclose any details, we are more than willing to give a new lease of life to these games most of us grew up playing. It's exactly where our major focus will be. This is, I believe, good news. It's very good that these two titles, so dear to many gamers from the 90s, wound up in Wargaming's hands. They bought Gas Powered Games recently, and that studio was actually founded by Chris Taylor, one of the Total Annihilation creators. I've said it again and I will say it now. It's an interesting period in gaming because the people that were young back then and played around with such games have now come to understand the market and get into game developing. And I believe that this will lead to some nostalgic and fun games for all of us to enjoy. So I think that when the next Total Annihilation or Master of Orion comes out, many people will be ready for some nostalgic fun. Meridian New World, a polished-looking real-time strategy game, is being made by one man. I do think it's important that I put this out there because small companies don't get much media attention, and I'll do my best to showcase what Ed Tarsloy managed to do. His single-man studio, Elder Games, has been working on Meridian New World for a couple of years now, and it's amazingly far along. In fact, it will be playable at Gamescom later this month, and it's already attracted the publisher, Head Up Games, who brought retail versions such as PC titles The Binding of Isaac and Limbo to Germany. Meridian New World will be a rather story-intensive game for an RTS, with many dialogue choices that influence the narrative as your commander and settlers attempt an expedition onto a mysterious planet. You'll be able to level up your commander with various combat abilities, outfit your units with 15 different weapons, and influence your crew's behavior by talking with them. Players will also have access to a level editor and scripting tool so they can create their own campaigns, and the developer said that he will be frequently adding more maps after launch. We don't have a release date on this game yet, and I have to applaud the man for what he's doing. I do wish him the best, and I am always optimistic, considering I could not believe for myself when I saw the trailer. Another example of a single-man talent was that of Dust: An Elysian Tale earlier this year, showcased in my first impressions. So it's doable. Alice Madness Returns creator American McGee has successfully kickstarted his spin-off animation series Alice Otherlands. It's only appropriate that I come back to this title, seeing how I featured it in the past weekly gaming news video. If you haven't heard of it, it will basically be an animated series in the world of Alice to end the trilogy that the author had in mind for it. The project got over $222,000 from its initial target of $200K, and now McGee will oversee the production of a number of animated short films, each focusing on the creation of a historical figure, like 200,000 Leagues Under the Sea author Jules Verne and Sherlock Holmes creator Arthur Conan Doyle. The campaign missed out on its $250K stretch goal to hire Alice's voice actress Susie Bran and Cheshire Cat's actor Roger Jackson, but McGee added that he hoped some arrangement could still be reached. So it didn't work out for McGee when it came to the game Oh Zombie, but I hope this ending to Alice, a series I very much enjoyed, can be achieved. Donations are still open via PayPal, and if the developers put as much heart into this as they did with the two Alice games, then I think that this will be a nice animated series to look forward to. That was all for this episode of the weekly gaming news video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Also, do check the annotations at the end that will take you to my other playlists, the first impressions, the weekly gaming news video, and the Let's Plays. I am Toasted Synapse from tsgaming.net, and I'm signing out.